if I'm being objective, I don't think Pharrell is the #1 hip hop producer, but he is on that tier. I think he is on that tier of greatest of all time producers in that conversation. I don't think he's #1. You know, I think Dre. I think you always got to give it to Dr. Dre at this point, man. For being
I didn't call him #1. I just said it takes him up a couple notches. That's all I said. Y'all starting a narrative that's gonna get crazy online, and then I gotta look at y'all. I didn't say he was #1. I just said it took him up a couple notches.
You were jumping into a narrative that you saw online, so we're just helping you continue the crazy narrative. That's what we do.
So it's a good album. That's the consensus.
It's a great album.
I'll say this though. I will jump out the figurative window. I think this is the Clip's best album.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Rap Life Review. I am Nadeska, here with Lowkey and Eddie. You know these two guys. Ebro, not here with us this week, but we did invite some special guests to join us. We have journalist and cultural critic Ivie and hip-hop historian Rob Markman is with us. We just finished listening to the Chains and Whip song from Clips and Kendrick. What'd you guys think?
I think the thing that people, we all love Kendrick and does like thought-provoking shit, but over the past year, throughout this whole thing, he's definitely leaned into his supervillain.
Yeah.
Also, like it's almost like Thanos. I know Eddie appreciate that.
Come on now.
I'm doing what needs to be done. I'm trying to create balance back in this shit.
Yeah.
And some people gotta go. Like somebody gotta be the bad guy. Fuck it.
So with the statement, hip hop's dead again.
Right.
Like, where does that come from, and then how do we revive it if it's dead, so-called?
I mean, he's trying. That's the problem.
I mean, he's done it. He's done a good job of reviving it again.
But before we get super deep on the song, because I want to make sure everybody answers the question. What did y'all actually think of the song?
The song's beautiful.
Well worth the wait.
It was beautiful.
From that tease at Pharrell's show. Was it last year?
No, that was a couple weeks ago. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the original. Yeah, that was last year.
I think it was well worth the wait for this verse.
Yeah.
Nah, it's dope, and I like one just Push and Kendrick linking back up because nostalgia was such a moment.
Yes, it was.
You know, and the fact that Malice gets to be a part of this, like if you think about it, when Malice left the Clips in 2009, Kendrick hasn't really K-Dot is kind of making a name for himself, but we ain't get to the Kendrick Lamar EP just yet. Like it was coming towards that. So the whole time that the Clips have been absent, we have the emergence of this new rap superstar who's really at the top of the game, and to see them all collaborating, I think is super dope.
And like the whole thing was that Kendrick was supposed to be on 2. Well, he gave him 2. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah. Pusha said he gave him 2 records, but I guess it didn't fit. But I guess it's the one that did fit.
Yeah.
So that would have been fire to see.
Yeah, they're just morally aligned. You know, some rap features and collaborations are very transactional. Yes. I feel like what we've learned about Kendrick, Pusha, Malice over the past years is like these are people who are like very principled and they're gonna stand on what they believe till they die no matter what. They're not gonna sacrifice it for money and for clout. And so hearing them together on this record, it definitely didn't disappoint.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
And Kendrick is the perfect balance of Malice and Push. I think he represents both of them so perfectly because everyone knows Malice is more, I think, emotionally in tune.
Refined,
reserved, pensive. And then Pusha is just cerebral and cutthroat. And I think Kendrick is the epitome
Cutthroat's a great way to put it.
Kendrick is the epitome of both. He's self-aware, but he's also cerebral and cutthroat when he needs to be. He's in his villain era arc.
Right.
So I think them being on a track together is perfect for this moment.
I love too. Like when I heard it and I caught it that Malice still in on the Clips record still gets off his biblical bars. He references John 10:10. The devil comes not only but to lie, cheat, steal, something like that. I ain't the most well versed, but you know what I'm saying. Like he still gets that off.
He has not
cursed yet, which is beautiful.
He has a very good control of the English language. I think.
I mean, they both do.
Yeah, they both do.
Yeah.
They both do, but they're like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, you know? and I think on a bigger, like a bird's eye view, the whole album, because we had the opportunity to hear it like a little bit earlier. I think that's the theme of the whole project is there's this chemistry because it's not just two brothers that are back together. It's Pharrell back producing them, and as I was hearing the whole album, we miss that a lot of times in music. Like when music's done right, you have the right collaborators that bring out the best out of each other, and what hip hop has become, good and bad, it's just a lot of people putting songs together because it makes sense. They're ore farming. Like, yo, I can get this guy on there, it makes sense. This guy streams, blah, blah, blah. But when you get a whole bunch of people that are rightfully aligned musically, maybe on a deeper level, spiritually, philosophically, And I know I ain't trying to get too deep on the music, but that's what I felt when I listened to the whole project. Like, it was just great chemistry with everybody involved.
Like, you got to think, like, they're out in Paris doing this together. Like, if you hear the album, when you hear the album, you can tell that they sat with each other. Pharrell made these beats with them. Malice and Push wrote these verses together. It doesn't sound removed. It doesn't sound, flown in. It sounds like they were in the room, going back and forth, pen game strong, pen game battling. And that's what you want to see in hip-hop. And we haven't seen that in 15 years from these guys. So them doing this right now at this pivotal point, especially when Kendrick is saying hip-hop is dead, here come these two to almost save it, if you want to say that.
I knew, like, the album hit for me and being able to listen to it, you know what I'm saying? And the track listing is out, so people see this, but when Ab Lava showed up, I was like, oh, okay, like they're really at their roots. Like there's a lot of features, like Eddie said, they could have pulled in, the oral farming, but I think this was really for, like, Day One Clips fans, Re-Up Gang fans. Like, so when you make sure that there is space on the Clips album after, about 15 years, that there is space for Ab Lava.
That's reminiscent.
Most people, like, if you're not a Clips fan, you might not get it, but it is so important, man. So I think they checked all the boxes.
And then one of my favorite parts, Clue.
Yeah.
DJ Clue being on there, but we'll let you hear that when it comes out.
Listen, guys, all summer the unks, we're going to be picking our kids and our nephews up from summer camp. We're going to be out on the grill. We're going to be enjoying it. Hey, but real quick, man, get your prostate checked because y'all ain't as young as you think you are. Like, we up this year, dog. Old heads in hip-hop, man. We back.
Thank you. Music? Well, Malice is 52.
Yeah.
Clips is, Push is 49. How old is Kendrick? 37?
37, maybe.
30.
Yeah,
These are elder statesmen.
Yeah, I mean, they're elder
Grandpa
statesmen, but
rap.
like, this is not unk music. This is just good fucking
music.
rap music. That's what this shit is.
It's a testament
This is
to
unk
people
music.
rappers getting better with age.
Yeah.
I don't know why there's this consensus that rappers are washed when they reach a certain age. But when you're coming from that era of rap where lyricism is important, and having control of language is important, you can only get better with time.
All right, this song has been a long time coming. Chains and Whips from the Clips and Kendrick Lamar, finally out today on Apple Music. Some people here have heard some of the project, right?
All of it.
Oh, all of it?
Yeah.
Okay. These guys are veterans, and obviously they haven't put out a project together in 15 years.
Yeah.
And, based off their first few albums, which in my opinion are classics, I don't want to say how does this one compare. That's really not the question, but how do you feel like it continues the legacy of the Clips?
I feel like it is growth. They've been through some things. Their last album, To the Casket drop, was, you start out with Lord Willin' and Grind, and that's the one that just captivates everybody. And Hell Have No Fury was the classic, the critical acclaim. And then To the Casket drop was them really trying to spread their wings. It was a broader sound. You start bringing Kanye into the mix, and there was production outside of Pharrell and Neptunes. And then they split. Malice goes and makes more spiritual music and finds his calling, and Pusha emerges as a soloist. And, in that, Pusha still, the Clips brand never like diminished.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's still a demand for it. So to come back and hear where they are 15 years later is amazing. So much of the album, I know they get like, oh, it's coke rap, or there's a lot of criticism online. Oh, Pusha is just calling out names for his rollout. But if you really listen to the album, it's so much on this album about family.
Yeah.
And about growth and about life and about leaving something for your children and honoring your parents who, they lost their mom and their dad in these last 15
And
years.
they open up the record with
Right.
that. So for people to listen to it and say that it's just coke rap, that means you're skipping already to the end of the album. I think on Eddie's first listen, he was saying already a contender for rap album of the year.
Yeah.
It's a conversation. So. Yeah. Like, it's not, to me, there's not a ton of strong like potential best albums of the year, but that's how best albums of the year work. Every album can't be the best album of the year, but through like early on, as I listen to it, it's just something that it's just a strong project, man. We're gonna go deeper into it, and I can give a lot of hyperbole, but it'd be interesting to see where the song sits like a month, 2 months from now. But I don't foresee it changing too much. Like, this is a really well put together album, from the lyricism, from the production, from the well curated features. It all adds up and makes sense.
I mean, you also have to make sure that we give Pharrell his props because, you know, there was a lot of chatter about, you know, if Pharrell could do it again, has he lost his hip hop step? But when you listen to this project, it's a lot of lush sounds. The pockets are beautiful. And it just seems like he's gained a step instead of losing one. So if you're a Pharrell fan, you're going to love the hell out of this shit.
Yeah, because the last few Pharrell produced songs, for Pharrell, people weren't as receptive to him. So it was really interesting to see. And maybe that's because they were making this album years ago. Who knows? Like, I don't know how that works, but it is a strong showing from one of the greatest. I mean, if you had to really have a conversation, the greatest producers in hip-hop history, there's no question Pharrell's on it. Now it's a question of how high is he? Is he 4, 3, 2? Like, it's a question.
It's a debate to be had with this project that he's moved up a couple ranks. We'll just say that.
I wouldn't say, I mean, it's just one project.
Wow.
I would say,
okay,
I'll say that.
Statement.
I'll say that.
Wow.
I'll say that. I'll be bold and say it. I'll take it.
Can we let everybody else on the couch react to this bold statement?
That's my thought.
I have not heard the album. Right. I haven't heard the album, but that is a bold statement.
Yes.
So now I'm very curious to hear if this takes Pharrell up another level.
I definitely believe so.
Do you also think, for everybody who's heard the project, do you think this is the Clips' best project?
That's hard.
It's too early.
It's too early. It's too early. I don't want to jump out the window like that yet.
Lowkey doesn't want to jump out the window, y'all.
No, but
you just jumped out the window.
No, because I'm just saying with the sound, like the sound of it.
You should come more often.
The sound of it and where Pharrell has taken his game, I think this is a leap.
Okay.
And where he's going with his game.
I don't know.
I feel like you were talking like Pharrell had something to prove before this album dropped. What am I missing?
From the conversations that I've seen online, a lot of people have said that yes, he might have lost a step.
Why? Because he's in Paris making clothes.
I'm just saying what I see and what I hear.
That's like LeBron James having a 20-year great career and him adding another good season.
No.
It's like
I didn't say he sucked. I didn't say he wasn't who he was. I'm just saying this is taking him up a notch.
I'm just saying.
You said 2 notches.
It didn't take him up a notch.
Wait, why can't he go up a notch though?
Thank you.
I just don't know how much further Pharrell can actually go up. You know what I'm saying?
Like he could be number one. I mean, a lot of people don't have him at number one.
If I'm being objective, I don't think Pharrell is the number one hip hop producer, but he is on that tier. I think he is on that tier of greatest of all time producers in that conversation. I don't think he's number one. You know, I think Dre. I think you always got to give it to Dr. Dre at this point, man, for being.
I mean, I didn't call him number one. I just said it takes him up a couple notches. That's all I said. Y'all starting a narrative that's going to get crazy online, and then I got to look at Shaw. I didn't say he was number one. I just said it took him up a couple notches.
You were jumping into a narrative that you saw online, so we're just helping you continue the crazy narrative. That's what we do.
So it's a good album. That's the consensus.
It's a great album.
I'll say this though. I will jump out the figurative window. I think this is the Clips' best album.
That's what I was waiting for someone to say.
I think, and I've sat with it like for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think this is their best album. I think the conversation had always been that Hell Have No Fury is the classic, and it very much is. This album resonates with me more
than the previous
Hell Have No Fury.
I'm curious to know if the Clips even care if this is going to be considered their best album, because their brand and the ethos of their music is refinement.
I don't think they care. I think that just being in this conversation of being cared for enough by the critics, even by the naysayers, I think that's more so what they want. Like, we still matter after 15 years of not being around together. You know, Push has been doing his solo thing for a long time, but for them to come back and just sound like they haven't missed a beat. And like Malice has gotten a lot of great praise from the last 2 records that they put out. Yeah. So this has been a very, very good, coming home party for Malice and just for them, as a group.
I think it's their most mature album.
Right. Yeah, of course, yeah.
And that sounds obvious, but there's always a question about how do you mature in hip hop. And I think the shining light, the person that's done it the best, is clearly Jay-Z with the 444. Like 444 was like a shining light of like, this is how you get older in hip hop. But you're also talking about arguably the greatest rapper of all time, arguably. So to see another group and one of the members take a huge time off and come back and do a project like this, it's another lesson in how you mature in rap. And there's a lot of artists that have done it. Like Nas has done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
Last year I talked about how great the LL Cool J project was. There's a lot of my boy Exhibit just dropped a pretty good. There's a lot of artists getting older, maturing in their music, and then there's a lot of artists in hip hop that don't mature at all.
You don't say.
I think that's the crux of Jim Jones and Nas that we saw a couple of weeks, and Jim Jones had finally come out and really admitted that he was trolling. But I think that's what it is. There's such a new space for hip hop of, yo, how do you mature in this? How do you grow old and still be yourself but still be engaging? And I think the Clips gives us another example. But like all of the examples Eddie just named, but also a Killer Mike. Whose last album was phenomenal. A Common and Pete Rock.
Raekwon's about to drop an album.
Yeah, Slick Rick at 60 years old just dropped an album. I think we're in this place where, and I think the young rappers and hip hop artists need space, and we need to hold space for them. But it's a beautiful thing that it's like now finally our genre, like we don't get aged out. Because they didn't age out the Rolling Stones. Nope. They don't age out Bono. Nope. Nobody says Bono is too, Tyler from Aerosmith is like, wait, did he?
Steven Tyler.
Yeah. Like these guys get to
it's like 100 years
mature.
Old now.
Yeah. I was like, let me check that. But they get to grow and mature.
Yeah.
And for hip hop, we seem to cut it down. Nas just did this run with Hit Boy and sold out MSG for the first time in his career.
Yes.
Yeah.
Off of 6 albums with Hit Boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a beautiful
6 albums in 3 years.
There's hope, y'all. We can age gracefully here.
Of course.
So Rob, I feel like Rob is very much like a hip hop historian.
Yes.
Where would you, when we're talking about like greatest hip hop duos, again, we just established that Clips and Malice took a long time apart. So I'm never trying to like directly compare. I feel like that's not fair, but just in your mind, where do you place them when you were thinking about some of the greatest hip hop duos?
And I love hip hop historian instead of being like, oh, you just old. Like, yo, Rob, you old as shit. I think they start to put Deep. Yeah, I think they start to put themselves in the conversation, but if I'm going to be clear, and again, I love the Clips. I love what they're doing right now. I do not want to step at their moment, but the conversation is Outkast.
Okay.
Number one, like Outkast.
But see, this is why I didn't ask. We don't have to rank them. We don't have to say the best. Cool. Yeah, I just want to give them their flowers and be like, they're in there. They're in there.
We'll be here all day with Rob. We'll be here all day with Rob.
But that, I think you have Outkast.
Mobb Deep.
I think you have Mobb Deep. I think, EPMD, UGK for certain, 8 Ball and MJG, like really just this tier of duos. I don't know if we count Run DMC a duo that technically with Jam Master Jay, a trio, and we want to honor Jam Master Jay, but transformed hip hop at the points when they impacted, and Clips is one of those groups. So I think they're in the conversation.
Of course.
I'm not mad at anybody who says the Clips is their favorite duo of all time. It makes sense to me. I think of it as tiers, and I think they're in that upper echelon of tier. They are in that conversation.
But even Pusha said on Drink Champs, he was like, "Is Mobb Deep over everybody?"
Yeah.
So,
but that was a couple years. See, they ain't dropped this album yet, though. So
we gotta ask course thing. We gotta hear.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get a lot of great duos, all things considered, compared to solo artists. So again, it's really amazing that they had those first like excellent albums together, and then Pusha went on the most insane solo run. Held the brand down, and here we are, 15 years later. All right, so I think some of us did all the speculating we can without hearing the full album. So when we see you next week, we will have had time to sit with Let God Sort Him Out. And in the meantime, you can go check out Ebro's full interview with the Clips that's streaming right now on Apple Music. And we have some other new releases. Ivie, Rob, you guys are going to hang around and talk some topics with us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Come on.
Of course. So,
should we start with Drake?
Oh,
that's a great transition. That's a great transition. That's a great
4th of July weekend. I mean, it's what interesting timing that he has. Like, we're in the middle of this Clips rollout.
Yeah.
Last 4th of July, I believe, a big video also dropped. So I guess we're making this one a tradition. So he kicked off a live stream on 4th of July called Iceman Episode 1. So he basically shows up at an ice supplier in Toronto as an employee. I tuned in. He was measuring the block of ice.
Yeah.
Then we get some throwback footage of him. And then we get the preview video for What Did I Miss? And then he drives around for, another hour or so, previewing what we think are other songs from possibly the album, which may or may not be called Iceman. Did I get everything?
I think
Drake expert here.
Yeah,
okay, cool. Of course you.
OVO low.
OVO low. See, even Rob knows.
Yes, I know.
What do you guys think? I mean, I think a lot of people are looking at this as the official kickoff to the album rollout for Iceman. And this is an album that everybody's going to be tuned into, a Drake fan or not. What did you guys think about this? Eddie, especially you. Last week you were talking about how much you love album rollouts. What do you think about this as the beginning?
Look, I'm never going to lie to you guys. So here's what happened. Low sends us the text. It's like, yo, what's going up? And I don't even know what the text is yet. And it's the link in this Iceman thing. And you go to YouTube and it's just comments and like, the GOAT's back, the GOAT's back. It was supposed to start at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock my time or something.
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. No, y'all time.
Yeah, so 6 o'clock your time.
So it was supposed to be like 6 o'clock. And I tried, but Eddie was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Drake was taking too long. So what I did was I kept playing video games, and then the next day, I went to Rob's YouTube page.
Cheat code.
I got the recap. So I would defer to Rob because all I did was watch the video and watch your recap.
I like this rollout. Like, I like that he's trying something new and different. Blue collar Drake. I want to see where it goes.
It was interesting.
But I do like that he's leaning into. Look, we know that the game has changed. I come from the magazine, from the print era. We come from the Rap City, from the Yo MTV Raps era, and now it's really the streaming era. So he's leaning into like, I'm going to use streaming technology to preview my new music, give you a taste, bring you world build with the streaming. I'm not mad at that. Like, so I thought that was dope. I like the song that he previewed. Everybody's calling it Supermax.
Yeah, the one he's in the truck.
Yeah,
I like that.
That
was
sounded
fire.
super interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then the song that he actually put out, What Did I Miss? Look, still talking about the battle, right? It's the fallout from the battle. But we know this, these battles don't stop. It didn't stop with Heart Part 6 or Not Like Us. Like Jay-Z and Nas was still bickering back and forth a year later after Ether. You know what I'm saying? So these things never come to a screeching halt. And it's more with Drake dealing about the fallout of the people around him. Like, yo, you guys turned on me, all these guys turned on me. What did I miss? Did I not see it? So I guess that's a bit of the accountability that we've been asking for about Drake.
That's interesting that you say that. So I've been asking for the accountability and some more soul searching, and I feel like we got a little bit of that, but also a lot of it was a bit of him being a victim.
Yeah.
So my confusion is, even listening to the preview of the Clips album, there's like a particular verse on there where it sounds like somebody may or may not be addressing him. I guess, what are the odds that all of these people just gang up on him for no reason at all? Like, at some point, is he gonna maybe say, he did something wrong?
If you like, all right, if I come to you and I say, I got a new girlfriend, right? And then 3 months later, I break up with my girlfriend, right? Then 3 months after, I got a new girlfriend. She breaks up with me. Every time somebody breaks up with me, it's my fault.
Well,
every time. That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like with Drake. Every time, it's always somebody else's fault. Right. Every time we hear these kind of records, every time we have this kind of moment, it's always somebody's fault. Now, again, we don't know the back and forth. We don't know the behind the scenes. Like, things can make, go awry and go crazy. But every time.
Yeah, I don't want to diminish the fact that some people probably
they have done him wrong. Yes. Yeah.
But Ivie, I would be curious what you think. What did you think about What Did I Miss?
So I didn't tune into the live stream in real time. I did.
Girl,
catch
me either. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Nobody has time for that.
Where do I even start? Well, I think that the branding, the Iceman branding, the ice truck is certainly a choice during this political climate. So that was interesting to me.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, well, he's Canadian, so maybe he didn't put it together either. But in this country, I think that was certainly a choice. Right. I do think that he is trying to connect with youth, emphasis on try. But at a certain point, I wonder, is he chasing the youth or trying to connect? Because we all know that people consume music differently now. People consume content differently now. Right. And everything gets put under the umbrella of content. So I know that Drake is making a concerted effort to make content that resonates with different audiences, particularly the youth. So I do think that is admirable, especially for an artist at his level. But I don't know if it's genuine or if it's just manufactured virality. To me, this doesn't feel like a rollout that I'm particularly interested in, because it feels like I have seen how the sausage is made and I know everything he's trying to do with this rollout. We all know Drake knows how to manipulate any medium. And I think his greatest feat is his curatorial skills rather than his creator skills. I think he has great taste, and he just has his finger on the pulse as far as what wave he needs to ride and what he needs to do to extract attention. And I think attention is his currency, whether it's, fishing for sympathy and all that stuff. I think that that's his strongest suit when it comes to a rollout. So I wasn't particularly moved.
So you were not moved by him dancing around those guns in the video then?
No.
Well, that for me, and I set it up was like the things that I liked about the record, or the things that were like interesting to me about the record. The thing that I didn't get was the aggression in the record. The dancing by the guns was a choice. I know it's an art project that took place in Texas. Possibly it's all the guns that are aimed at him and in his direction, and all the people taking shots at him. But there is a lawsuit. He currently has a lawsuit against UMG with Not Like Us, squaring the censor of that lawsuit. And now lyrics and artistic expression are under the microscope.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know a lot of fans want to ignore or gloss over that. I just can't ignore or gloss over that. So the guns in the video is a choice, and what's up with that? You know, especially if you read the lawsuit and some of the things that it says. We know that Drake's house was unfortunately shot up. None of us condone that.
Right.
But in that lawsuit was the first time that I was hearing that they were suggesting that it was a crazed fan due to Not Like Us. We also know that during that same week, Cash from the EXO camp, his house got shot. I don't know if these things are, like, I really don't know. There's a big picture there, but the first time that it said, okay, these shootings at my home, again, which are terrible, like, yes, your safety is paramount, stems from this rap beef, gives us a new thing to consider.
Right.
With that active lawsuit going on, the kind of acts of aggression, or what could be perceived as acts of aggression in the video, just felt like wrong place, wrong time, and gave me pause. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was distracting. It took away from the song. It's like I was trying to focus on what he was actually saying, but all I could pay attention to was the setting.
You know what I like better? You know what was a similar sentiment? He had a Fighting Irish freestyle that leaked that Dr. Williams produced, and that had leaked early in the year, didn't officially come out, and that was the song going against LeBron, who Drake has a friendship with. I guess really felt the way had that tattoo. He has a tattoo that felt the way that LeBron was at the pop out, and whatever, and no matter what I feel, I get that. Damn, if Lo, you my man.
Yeah.
Like you with the ops over here dancing and kicking. I thought you was my man. I feel away. So I get the emotion in that. I actually like the Fighting Irish freestyle better as a form of expression of the disappointment in his friends around him. Because regardless of whether he feels he's right or wrong, like we all feel that we're right. We're all the hero in our own story.
Right.
So just as expression, I get that. I like the Fighting Irish freestyle better than what we got here. But it's all similar sentiment. So get it off. You got to get that off your chest. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not mad at him for expressing how he feels or his disdain for choices around him. I get that. I understand that. And I feel bad about saying just let it go. Like, we've heard enough, let it go. And I don't want to say that, but I do. It's like, all right, we get it. You're mad at LeBron. LeBron's not going to rap back at you. You're mad at DeMar DeRozan. DeMar's not going to rap back at you.
But that's
so it's like, I'm like, who else are you talking to? Like, I cleared the verses. I sent the hooks. I did the bookings. All right, who else are you talking to?
Rick Ross.
But that's not fair, because Drake's always done that. He's always kind of like, Drake's a lot of things, guys. Like, he's not one thing in the music that he puts out.
Yeah.
You know, we always make the joke that he's R&B Drake, he's Caribbean Drake, he's all those things.
Right.
But one of those things he positions himself early in his career was that he's an underdog, and like there's people coming at him, and that has been a narrative. And even earlier when you were like, is it always is it him or is it the people around him or whatever the case may be? When you're at the top of the mountain, people come at you. And this is hip hop, and we can't have it both ways. We can't say, hey, this is hip hop, be competitive.
No.
And then when he loses and you're like, all right, now shut up, you lost. It's like clearly he still wants to be competitive. Now the issue is you want to be competitive and have lawsuits. We ain't never seen that before.
That's the caveat right there.
That's a little weird.
Right.
Like, so I'm not mad at Drake for being competitive. I'm not mad at you for going at people, because, bro, like, let's be clear. People celebrated Drake losing like we've never seen before. It was like people were dancing on his grave. And at the end of the day, that man is human. I will be pissed off too if all I've done, we just did our Apple 500 most streamed songs. Drake was number one with I'm not gonna say that word, but Drake was number one by a lot. Like, Drake held it down for 10 summers.
Okay.
For real. So when all of a sudden a year later he takes one L and everyone is kind of like laughing at him.
That was a big L.
The game is the game.
Yeah, the game is the game. That was a big goddamn L.
Take it personal.
Okay, that wasn't just a little.
We've seen this before with Jay-Z and Nas.
They danced all over when Nas did that to Jay.
But not right. Nas won that battle clearly, not taking nothing away from Nas. Part of it was that Jay was the top guy, and there were people just like, yo, when you're at the top, when you're the Lakers and you win championship after championship, or you're the Boston Celtics, oh man, I'm sick of this. Like there's always a culture of, yo, you win too much, we sick of seeing you win.
But you feel like it was the same thing when Jay lost this versus Drake. It feels, I guess some of it just seems so personal that like people like The Weeknd, like Future, who he's done so many records. It seemed to me so much more personal. And so, I don't agree that he needs to stop talking about being betrayed and what he's been through. I actually enjoy that and I want to hear it. But I'm hoping, and this is probably never going to happen, that he goes a step further and at some point admits like maybe he did something wrong to piss all these people off.
Like something.
But it's probably never going to happen.
Something like, yeah, you know what, I did do that. Yeah, I did say that. Or yeah, I went against my word, whatever the case is. So I can see why X, Y, and Z are coming at me from all angles. There is nothing in the music that says any of that. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying don't tell your story or don't tell your truth or don't tell how people betrayed you, but like a cookie, a crumb, like, yo, I did this.
Do you think it's coming? Do you think there's going to be more music where he like does the math and figures out he's the common denominator?
I would hope so.
That's what I want. That's what I've been asking for.
A lot of people want that.
But just to answer Nadeska's question, this was on a much larger scale than Jay-Z and Nas. This is the biggest hip-hop battle of all time. This was on a much larger scale. But remember, Jay disappeared. People forget, Jay went on the radio on Angie Martinez's show and apologized for putting out Super Ugly because it was too misogynistic, and his mom
made him apologize.
You know what I'm saying? Jay had that thing, Big Pimpin', whatever. Like Jay was seen as very misogynistic. His record started to change a little bit. He took some time off and he took a vacation and he came back refocused and he started to change a little bit. He started to mature a little more. Like, I think there was some self-reflection. He even has a line several years later when he's going at Jim Jones on the Ballin' record, and he was like, oh, I got stronger after Ether. Like, acknowledging what Ether did to him. So there was an acknowledgement, and I would probably like to see Drake do some of that and part of the hymn.
Yeah, well, Rob, thank you. That's a great point. I didn't remember all of that. So hip-hop historian, I appreciate the context, man.
He's seasoned.
It's been done. There's a way to handle it. So listen, we don't know if Iceman is the official title. We're just going with that for now when it's dropping. But since the rollout has started, it seems like stay tuned for more Drake. This year is turning out to be a little more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Let's quickly shout out some other releases. So we know that J.I.D. is getting his next album ready. God Does Like Ugly. It's dropping in August. He did release an EP. He's calling it The Prelude. You can stream that on Apple Music right now. GDLU features from Lil Yachty, Black, and Eminem. I don't know if anyone wants to get into this project. Otherwise, y'all can check it out. It's basically J.I.D. just showing off that he can really rap. Some rappity rap.
Yeah, that's pretty much
rappity
it.
rap.
That's pretty much
it.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
I fuck with it. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is.
Okay.
And it's good though. It's pretty good.
Is it good?
I like it.
How do you feel about it, Eddie?
It's cool. It's cool.
I like that. I thought it was interesting because he called it a pre-lux. Like, he was like, it's the 4 songs that didn't make the album. And usually what rappers do, or just all artists, is you make the deluxe version after the album comes out. So he just like front loaded it.
That's interesting.
So again, it was just like that little interesting tidbit. I was like, and I like the record with him and Yachty, and shout to Yachty, God bless him. He don't always, like, when Yachty gets in his rap bag, like, yo, I can really rap. It's really hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
God bless his
So
praise.
I'm like, oh man, Yachty's gonna rap with Jid now, but Yachty kind of Jid smoked the record. But Yachty did his thing. I was like, y'all fuck with this Yachty.
He has his moments.
It's kind of missed.
The beat's good
For me.
The beat's
good. Yeah, that's good. That's a good way to put it.
And the first joint, Behold, or the project I really like. So we'll see, man.
Yeah.
I feel like we always got to take a minute to shout out Lil Yachty and show love whenever the moment arises. You know what I mean? We've come to love him. He's like rap's favorite little brother.
He's a factor out here. Like it or not.
He absolutely is.
Fucking bullshit.
What? You know,
Nothing.
you know.
So go ahead, man. Go ahead. What else we got?
Chance the Rapper also dropped a new single. Now listen, it's been a minute since he dropped. I think the last album, The Big Day, was 2019, and so I was a huge Chance mixtape fan. That album did not really land for me.
You were.
Remember, you was a big Chance.
My boss remembers. So he did pop up for our Apple Music 10-year anniversary celebration last week and confirmed to Zayn and Ebro that the next album is coming soon. So Chance just dropped that new single. It's featuring Lil Wayne and Smino, and it's called Tree. You can stream that on Apple Music. On my first listen...
Nope, not it.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it was perhaps not this.
Yeah, it wasn't it. We'll give him more time.
You know what?
That's not it.
Shut. I'm glad India.Ree's getting paid.
Yeah.
I think that's like the second song.
That's a great answer.
There we go.
Well, hopefully,
I'm happy India.Ree's getting paid, man.
Yeah, this fell flat.
She made really good music.
This fell flat.
Man,
Hopefully,
I don't know if the chance that I loved on like acid rap and like the mixtape era, like I don't really know what to expect anymore. That's what I want to say. You know,
that's why you gotta go with no expectations.
Yeah.
Very low.
Not
very
even low. I just, you know what? Let's see. This is just the first one. Who knows if it's officially on the album? There's more coming. We'll stay tuned for that.
We're allowed to not like stuff. We're allowed to.
I know.
And you can say, hey, I don't like this one.
But we want to. I want to like
We
more
want,
stuff.
we're allowed to say, hey,
Like-
this wasn't it.
I know, but
We're allowed to say that, Eddie. It's okay.
I was just raised as a polite Caribbean child, and it's like if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything
Hey,
at all.
this wasn't
Which doesn't
it.
really
This
work
wasn't
in
it.
this
Not
field.
yet.
So clearly I picked the wrong lane,
Yeah.
but here we are. You know,
Definitely.
what are we gonna do?
Definitely.
So,
It'll be all right.
except Rocky also dropped a new single. It's called "Pray for the Gang." That was an Apple Music exclusive release for 24 hours. Rocky's another one, man. We don't know if or when this album is coming. Like I heard a lot of it last fall. I really liked it, but clearly he's had a lot going on in his personal life. Did anybody get a chance to listen to this single?
I did listen to the single.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
No, I'm just asking.
All right, so
I heard it, yes.
Shout out to Rocky.
Single.
No, shout out to Rocky.
heard
Shout out to
that.
Rocky. Yeah, shout out to Rocky.
Yeah, you wanted to say something.
I bet he looked really cool when he recorded it.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? He also was in Paris for, I don't know, fashion all the time.
Yeah, Fashion Week.
For fashion, just
Shout out to
fashion,
Rocky,
period.
man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah.
He did talk
man.
to Mehdi, who works for Apple Music Paris out there. Let's go to a clip from that interview.
Can we expect something from you soon?
Yes, absolutely. I think the funny thing with me and just my journey and my career and my path and shit is just the ability to perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I'm a perfectionist, and I think that every time that I had said everything that I need to say, something else happens, something new happens, something else to talk about. And I think at this point, I'm just mainly concerned with just kind of like reintroducing myself. The guy I am now is not the guy I came in this business as.
All right, so that's it for the new music for this week. Stay tuned. Now, we want to talk about some of the most streamed songs in the last 10 years on Apple Music. So again, I mentioned Apple Music just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. And to celebrate, one of the things we did was count down the 500 most streamed songs since we launched. So we highlighted the rap songs that were the most streamed. And I think as Eddie mentioned before, number 3 in the 500 most streamed in the past 10 years, Drake, God's Plan.
I guarantee a huge chunk came from me with that one.
Oh,
It was a
really?
great song.
That's
Listen,
That was a good song.
That was a good song. That was fantastic.
I
That was a great
the video
song.
was
on
great.
repeat, and I would just ride around with my windows open.
No, that was a great song. Like there's no explanation behind it. Yeah. Number 3, yeah.
I wonder if our
all time.
viewers would agree. Like, is this just one of those songs that nobody can hate? Like, is there a person who hates God's Plan? How?
In the video too, he was like doing charity. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
He's so positive.
You can hate it.
You know, for me,
You
but
can
I don't know
find-
when
you
it
can
came
find
out
a way
because
to
it came out on the Scary Hour, so it was a 2-pack.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
that and
yeah.
Diplomatic Immunity.
Yep.
And my rap ass just kept Diplomatic Immunity on repeat. I'm like, yo, this song's amazing. Diplomatic Immunity is one of
It's
my
still-
favorite
yeah,
Drake rap
yeah.
songs. But no, God's Plan to
Yeah,
me is
God's
a
Great
Plan,
song.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
feel
great
good
record.
song.
Yeah, it's probably one of his best songs
Yeah.
in his catalog, if not the
I
best.
agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a 0% chance that Drake wouldn't be in the top 10 of our most streamed songs. But number 4, does this surprise anybody? Post Malone and Sway Lee, Sunflower from the Spider-Man soundtrack, which somebody shouts out. We'll get to the comments that we were sleeping on the Spider-Man soundtrack.
Yes.
They were not lying.
But no,
Rob.
that makes sense.
Rob, Spider-Man, this is us.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know,
I know, but then it's also Post Malone, so it's like I'm conflicted, man.
okay, so
Post done.
me and Rob
Being an
are
abandoned
huge comic
hip-hop.
book fans.
Yeah, Post
so
is
this is
abandoned
like really
hip
our
hop, even
band.
with the braids, with the straight backs and the
Bro.
grill. Said he was the White Iverson. We was like, yo, we feel you, bro.
Now
he
he's
was like,
now
"Sight."
he's like cowboy boots and
Yeah.
Colt 45s. Like, yeah, he
Listen, bro,
left.
I
this
mean-
song that has 1 billion streams. It's a
Yeah.
great song.
Nah,
I
it
don't
is.
care.
It
It
is.
reminds me of the end of the movie every time. I love Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
10 out of
That's
10
nice.
movie.
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope you guys are not disappointed to hear then that Post Malone is also at number 5 with Rockstar. Shout out 21
All right.
Savage. He had a great
Now
verse
I'm
on
out.
that one.
Snatched another hip hop.
Yeah.
Another Drake, One Dance, featuring Wizkid. That was a huge record when it dropped.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And then Pusha T's favorite, Travis Scott with Sicko Mode. Also on this one.
Also another Drake. More Drake.
Drake is dominating,
man. So number 9 to me, I love, and was very surprising.
It's not hip hop.
It's R&B. It's hip hop. Stop.
Nah,
it's in our world.
It's ours.
Fuck that.
Can you stop hating
There's
before
a
I even
rapper
say it?
on it.
Let me just
Fuck
say what the
that.
song is before
Okay,
you
my
start
fault, guys.
hating, bro.
My fault, guys. I apologize.
I was just gonna say, speaking of beefs, we know that for a long time, Chris Brown and Drake had issues with each other. So it's amazing for them to finally reunite, drop No Guidance, which is fire. And this is our number 9 out of 500 most streamed songs in the past 10 years. That's crazy. I wouldn't have guessed that one.
A lot of those are for me. I love No Guidance. No Guidance is a fire fucking
No
song.
Guidance is a fire record. It's just not hip hop. That's all.
Travis Scott at number 13 with Goosebumps. Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber, 14, Stay. Kendrick Lamar at 15 with Humble.
Nice.
I don't know if, is that the, yeah, I guess that's a Kendrick song I would have picked to be on.
There wasn't that many.
Humble,
there wasn't that many Kendrick songs
That's
on
not
the
my
list.
favorite
Honestly.
Kendrick song.
That's not my favorite, but I could see Humble being there.
It was a big song.
Yeah, it was a big song.
Apple Music ain't got no love for Kendrick Lamar.
Roddy Ricch, The Box, number 17. Remember how huge that song was, man?
Huge.
Still is.
I'm really hoping this Roddy album is going to be amazing. That's on my list of most anticipated for the year. Lil Baby, Freestyle.
That was surprising.
This one?
Yeah, that was like not in a hating way, but that was when I saw 18. I'm like, that's crazy.
It's still streaming. That's why.
Yeah, I had no idea. That was surprising.
100-something stream to this day.
And that's dope for him though.
Yeah, just because everything feels like more pop leaning, because obviously, you know what I'm saying? To get the most streams, you get lean a little bit. And that just feels like pure rap.
Like a
the song
pure
that
rap record. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's fire.
Yeah.
We have 2 more Drakes on the list. So he comes in again at 21 with Nice for What. I also love that record.
That was a good song.
Great
That was a
song.
great song.
And great video.
Lil Baby and Gunna, Drip Too Hard at 23.
Great
Speaking
record.
of beefs.
Great record.
French Montana and Sway Lee, 24. Unforgettable.
That's a diamond record too.
Amazing song. And then we're going to round out with Drake at number 25, In My Feelings.
Kiki.
It's a good song. See, he'd be all right.
That man would be fine, bro. He ain't missed nothing.
It's cool.
It'll be fine.
Nokia is going to be in the next 500 most streamed when we do our 20 year anniversary.
That's gonna come from me.
Watch.
I love that
Oh,
song.
yeah?
I love that record. I called it the song of the summer. I've said it right here publicly.
You did.
Did I not say that? Yeah, I love that record.
People did not agree with us in the comments, by the way.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they say.
But I do want to shout out our viewers. We always appreciate you guys, of course, tuning in and participating. Last week, people were really agreeing with Eddie that we needed artists to focus on these rollouts. Some people in here, Bojack's really excited about the Clips album. It's about to be extra epically influential. It's not rap, this is culture. And then soundtracks. So
You dropped the ball on that one.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. We failed you last week. Eddie brought up some of the best soundtracks because we were talking about F1, the movie, the soundtrack, and Lowkey and I were like struggling to come up with things. I just wasn't preprered for the topic.
Yeah, he just dropped it like on the table and we were like,
and so audience, we're sorry for failing you. But anyway, you guys made some really great suggestions here. Zanaya Simone shouted out Rush Hour, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Set It Off, New Jack City, Mosaic Butterfly. Thank you. I probably sounded like a bozo. I thought everyone was just going to laugh. And they probably did. But she said Space Jam is probably my absolute fave.
That's the one you said,
I was just saying that I was so unprepared that I'm going to say something dumb like Space Jam. And she also mentions Love and Basketball, Sister Act, great. Black Panther, which we acknowledge one of the best. Soul Food.
And we forgot Waiting to Exhale.
Bodyguard and Waiting to Exhale.
We forgot that
Shout
one.
out to Whitney.
And shout out to Babyface for writing that entire Babyface
shout out
wrote
to
that entire
Babyface.
soundtrack. So yeah.
What about our 2 guests? What are your guys' favorite soundtracks?
I don't even like picking favorites, to be honest.
That too, I like her.
I do.
Soul Food, Boomerang, Romeo Must Die. Wow.
Is American Gangster a soundtrack?
Yes.
See,
I will say that's a good one.
Is that a
That's good one.
soundtrack?
Yes, it is.
Is it?
It's like a Jay-Z
concept
album and a soundtrack.
Yeah, I think
It's a concept album.
No, I'm saying soundtrack.
I'm saying concept.
It's not the soundtrack?
I mean,
No, it's
didn't
not
they
that
play the
official.
songs
it's
in the
a period
movie?
piece.
It's inspired by, but it's
can't be.
not.
Why
It's
not?
a period piece.
It's a period piece.
What does that?
The
What?
film,
right.
Huh?
like to sort of say, it's like there's no music from that in the film. Like it's just
Okay,
different.
yes, I get what you mean.
So like I said, it's inspired by.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a soundtrack.
No, because usually soundtracks, 1 or 2 songs will be in the film. Now,
none of these
and
showed up
none
in
of
the
these,
film?
none of these songs.
It can't
from
be.
his
It's a fucking Jay-Z album with some shit that happened like in the 1960s.
Don't say it can't be. I've seen people do some wild shit in movies and put songs that don't fit.
Some of the album is kind of like cohesive with the movie, so you can't really say that.
There's some parts from the movie in the album.
There's some audio clips from the movie in the album.
Because even The Harder They Fall is a cowboy movie, and there's like Jay-Z songs in it, so that can happen as well too. But because this is a period piece and there's no songs from the soundtrack in the actual movie, it just seems like it's a concept album about a movie.
Well, all right. Well, Jay, when you see this, just let us know, was this a soundtrack or just a concept album? Or just hit me and we'll
He gonna call you.
He's gonna call you directly.
Whatever it was, whatever it was great. Thank you guys for the suggestions. We appreciate it. Ivie and Rob, thank you so much for joining us for this episode.
Wait.
Wait, what?
The greatest soundtrack of all time.
Oh.
What?
Fucking Purple Rain. Prince.
Didn't we talk about that last week?
Purple Rain.
We couldn't figure it out.
Purple Rain is the soundtrack. And Above the Rim.
Because
that's the one that we
mentioned Above the Rim.
I have one, but it's not rap.
It doesn't have to be rap.
Only Lowkey's gonna hate on that.
Mark Anthony, El Cantante.
Oh, okay.
That was better than the movie. The movie was not good. No offense. The soundtrack, amazing. She's sometimes I prefer Mark Anthony's versions of Hector Lavoe's songs to the Hector Lavoe songs, because that's how good the soundtrack was.
You're starting some new controversy in our comments.
Yeah, they're gonna cook me in the comments. But
Sister Act 2.
You guys are done?
That was good.
Yeah, that was
I thought we were going to let our guests have the last word, but you couldn't help it.
This is a good show this week.
Thank you so much for watching the Rap Life Review. And I got to say one more time, thank you to Ivie and to Rob for hanging with us here today. When you're not on the Rap Life Review couch, where can people find you?
You can find me at ivieani.com, Instagram, ivie.ani, Twitter, ivieani, and everything else, ivieani.
Yeah. Rob Markman on YouTube. Man, I'm trying to get these subscribers up, man.
Go subscribe to that channel.
100,000. Let's go, man. Rob Markman on YouTube.
Forget Twitter. Forget IG. YouTube.
That's where they monetize, baby.
Exactly.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in to the Rap Life Review. What's up? You just finished an episode of the Rap Life Review. It's 2025, so new year means new episodes coming your way. If you want to get in the conversation, you can always drop us a comment below. And of course, you can like and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. Catch us next week on a brand new episode of the Rap Life Review right here on Apple Music.